is you can go over here and you can duplicate that one. And I'm just going to create, not going to create a vast number of copies, but let's create a few. Duplicate, duplicate. I could, of course, create a shortcut, I'm certain for that, but I haven't. So you could do it a bit quicker than that. Now, I guess, and I haven't tried it, you could create an action. You could store all this sort of thing. So you could have an image, and you could obviously create an action, and then record all the steps. So you could then use that action with any other image as well. I imagine it would work. But you might have issues with the size. Obviously, if the size is different, I guess that's going to complicate things. But I haven't tried it. So, but you could do that. So I've got a couple of layers here. And you can see, oh, don't want to move them around, but you can see the layers. Now I'm just going to go to this top one. Now the key thing here is crop image. Well, let's just display that a bit bigger. I don't know why it puts this back. It's really weird. It puts the small there. I don't want that. Panel options. I had it large and then suddenly mysteriously puts it back to small again. So say 70. Maybe it depends on the image or something. However, there's the size, so I can see it a bit more clearly. We can do crop image, and that's the one I've selected. This is the key thing over here, that you've got this blue indicator, because you want that to be the active one. Personally, I often just hide the layers, otherwise I confuse myself which one I'm working on. You can do that, toggle the visibility. So, crop image. And now just crop it in numerous ways. I'm obviously just going to do it very quickly. I'm not going to spend, but you can see the obvious things. Maybe select the eye and press return. And you can see the reason why now. I've got this I want to just remove it. I want to work with that one. Make certain you're working with that layer. Crop image, otherwise it will just limit the range of the crop. And let's move that out of the way slightly. And you go for that one, press return, and I'm just going to do this quickly now. I'm just going to run down all these ones, and again disable that one so I know that's what I'm working with, crop image. And again I'll go there, and again disable that one. You don't have to do that, but I just like to, but this is the key thing. You're actually actively working on that layer. Otherwise this crop image will get confused about what it's cropping. And it will suddenly get a lot, very less of a region to crop. And you can just select that up there, press return. Again, you can move that, that's active. And crop image. And you can see what happens. See, look, that's what happens. You can't go out that range, which is fine. I'm just going to do that for this. Doesn't matter. But again, you just do there. And with that one selected, select that one, crop image, and you can see you get the full range if you're selecting the right layer. That's the key thing. Press return, disable that, select there. Again, crop image, and you can obviously select different, maybe little quadrants, maybe squares, whatever. Press return again. And now just disable that one, go to this one. I'm nearly finished. Crop image. And then the next thing you can do, of course, is apply effects, move things around. And I'm just going to show you that bit as well. So press return, then go there, crop that one, crop image. And the thing is with crop image, you can't go out, which I think is slightly odd, I must admit. You can't go further. Though it wouldn't make any difference, but I don't know why it just doesn't let you go further up, because then you, of course, got exactly the same size. You have to resize it if you want to go to a different area. Slightly odd feature, I think, personally. So again, press return, and again, go there, crop image, disable that one. That's the key thing. I actually like to deselect it. Otherwise, if you see it, it does confuse the thing. And I think it's just nice to work with, you know exactly what you're working with. Again, disable that, and then go to that one, and then that's it. I'm nearly finished. Now you could leave the layer at the bottom totally untouched. Don't have to have that one cropped. You could leave that as a bottom layer, perfectly reasonable, or you could just disable it if you don't want it. But it's useful to have it there. So select that, and now again, crop image, and go for that. Press return. Okay. Again, if you want to, you can get rid of it. You can see what you get now. You just get obviously that. But what you need, you can bring the other ones back. And of course, you can always leave it at that. You might decide, you know what, that's what I like. I like a nice little gaps between, but I don't. What I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with the whole thing again. Now, you should, as I haven't moved anything, as I bring it back, and obviously, maybe I might have missed an area. So obviously there's an area. So straight away you can see, obviously without this one at the back, if I bring that button back in again, you can see it's complete again. But if you remove it, you can see you get obviously a bit of a gap. It's up to you. So if you want to keep it in, keep it in. So what you can do with this, of course, is now you can go to this one, and that's the key thing. Again, you can select the active layer, otherwise you end up selecting the wrong ones. I'm often doing that. And you can move things around. I like that. That's another reason why sometimes it's probably best. It can be fiddly. Sometimes you get the layers on top. So I always find it's just as easy just to remove them all. It's a bit fiddly, I think. There is no, unfortunately, I would love to see a feature. Just make them all, and maybe someone could put a comment. There is an easy way to do that. It'd be really nice that just to hide them all. Instant hide. But there isn't, is there? No. I think there would be a command, instant hide. Okay. It just makes it easy just to remove them all. So you can now then manipulate that design a bit better. And of course you can always leave that one there so you can always see which one you're working on. Active again, and you can move that one. And you can bring that one active again and click on that one to make that active. And you can move that one. Click on that one. It's always a bit, that's another feature. I shouldn't say in these things. It's quite often when you're doing these things, you think, and of course, what you can also do, you can rotate it as well. Of course, you don't have to just have it straight up. You can move it around. And you can, of course, go and use some various other object transform. There's obviously these, and there's also other options. Maybe you can go for, let's see, envelope distort, make with warp. Why not? Maybe not that extreme. That's a bit extreme warp, but slightly warp it a bit. Click OK. So you can see you can slightly shift it. And then click that one. But it would be nice if so you can't click to make that active if it's not visible. But you think that when you click that, it would decide, you know what, you want it to be active. And then it would just make it visible again. But it doesn't work that way. And you can move that, of course, and you can resize it. And also what, of course, you can do, you can always go to Effect, and you can go down to Stylize, and you could do Scribble, whatever, Drop Shadow. Let's just do a Drop Shadow. There. And now, and also you can set that one. So let's just select that back on again. Select that to be the active one. But it can get a tendency to start to select the wrong one, and that's always slightly frustrating. It does have. So what you can also do, of course, you can always hold down the Alt or Option key and duplicate that design. Don't have to just have it as before. You can duplicate that design, and you can then maybe go to opacity. Maybe change the opacity so you can give us sort of like a shaking effect, or resize the design. And again, you can go to the next one and make certain that's the active one. And then resize that, and so on and so on. So you can create all kinds of different designs. And sometimes, of course, the results look terrible and you might not want the design. Because obviously, when I did this in a quick run through before, it looked really nice. But now, sometimes you think, that's not so poor cat. Wouldn't want the cat. I love cats. So, but this is a poser cat. Good old Poser. I love Poser, and Daz Studio is another one. Daz Studio and Poser, and there's obviously other ones as well that you can sort of create these sort of images from. Unless, of course, you've got a nice cat that you can take a picture of. I haven't. Then select the last one, and you can see the end result. You can just move that around and again resize, and so on and so on. So you can create a very, very abstract design from it. And also, of course, you can go and select that one, say, that layer, and go to Effects, and go down to Blur, and Gaussian Blur. And you can create a nice blurring effect as well. And so on, so on, if you want, or one of the other effects as well. Well, I hope you found this tutorial of interest, even though it's slightly jarring and all over the place. And I always do find it quite tricky, I think. But I hope you found it of interest. And I'm always adding new tutorials all the time about Photoshop, Illustrator, and many other applications. You probably could do this easier in Photoshop as well, of course, or Affinity Photo, where it's obviously the crop is slightly easier. But I think cropping in Illustrator is fine. I know some people don't like to crop in Illustrator. So if you've got any comments, any sort of things, suggestions, please let me know. Please don't say anything about the cat, because I say I love cats. Could have been an image of a house or building or whatever, anything. Also, maybe text. You could use a text image as well with this. So there's lots and lots of different things. Maybe you have a sort of image of a page or something which you can break up and sort of turn, rotate slightly to create a very disjointed effect. Also, a dislike or like, always appreciated, whichever way. And also, please subscribe. Always adding new enough every day. So thank you much.